The video you are about to watch is to help YouTubers, especially new YouTubers, make better videos and hopefully get more views and subscribers. Check out any of our other videos in this series for more answers, and if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below each video. We try to help where we can and have greatly appreciated any help that has been given to us. This tutorial will show you how to use Open Broadcaster software. We chose this one over top of Fraps or any of the other ones because of the fact that it was free and we're cheap. And when you're just starting at YouTube, you want to kind of limit your expenses because things can get expensive quickly if you dive into things. But we kept it because of the ease of use. If you notice this kind of like image like there, it's just because it's recording itself. It's not some kind of complicated thing. Once you actually get into recording something, you don't really have to worry about that so much. It's just you're watching the OBS software there. Okay, we're going to start walking through the settings here. So the general one is just setting out language and you're naming your profile. You do that so that you can, so that everything will be saved. So if you make any if I make any changes to whichever one of these is up there, which right now I don't want to do, then it would save it under that name. That way, you don't have to keep going back and forth and changing them. You can have a whole bunch of different ones there set up. Okay, so we got CBR there, which stands for constant bit rate. We've got that clicked. Just because, we just find it works better. It's more even, especially when we're doing just our video editings. It seems to work out well. And most of these functions here are based on the fact that we generally record more so than stream. Streaming, you might want to change things, but you don't want to change the CBR, especially if you're using Twitch, because everything that I've read seems to say that Twitch works better with that. They also seem to work better with AAC codec, but you do have a couple options there. Now we're going to broadcast settings. Now we've got the output only there because we're just putting it to a file, or file output only, because we're putting it into a file so that we can edit in like a video like this, and we've got the spot where we want it to go, so we know where to find it, of course. And you can set up some hotkeys. Those are more useful when you're doing live streaming than just this, because we're going to be editing in and out with a bunch of stuff here. But live streaming, you don't want to have to, if you're changing the screenshots that you're doing, you don't want to have to go in all of a sudden show everybody that you're streaming to this thing and then click off. You can just set up a hotkey and there you can go. When you're live streaming, you've got a spot there for putting in your stream key. But the really cool thing about this is when you're selecting where you're going to stream it to, whether it's going to be to YouTube or Twitch or something, if you click on one, you'll get a warning that'll tell you that your settings aren't optimized if they aren't set up right. So it kind of helps with a little walkthrough that if something, they're going to give you the heads up anyway early on to help you get through. And I know I really appreciate that with this kind of software. Okay, now this is video. We only have one video card, but if we had more, there's where you select it. We've only got one monitor hooked up right now, and it's just one of our old box style ones. We usually have the TV set up, it's just not plugged in at the moment, so you can set the resolutions for those things. And yeah, whether you wanted to have it at what it is or something lower, you've got that option there as well. Under audio, we only use whatever we have plugged in at the time is what we use, so I haven't really specified. Whatever we're using at that moment is what we're going with. That's why we've just left it at default. But you can pick different speakers for it depending on what you do, like what options you have, whether you want to set through headphones or speakers. And microphone, same thing. We don't have a microphone. We usually record everything outside of it and then add it to the video, just in case we wanted to add effects. And plus the fact we don't really have a good mic. Ever since we went to Windows 8 with this new computer, it seems our old stuff doesn't want to work with it, so we've been kind of doing little end arounds as opposed to buying all new equipment and all that, because we can't afford it. We're just getting through. So anyway, so under this area here, we've got, you might notice the UCFR, that's constant frame rate. That's just that works better with a lot of different editing softwares. Like if you don't have that checked, then sometimes it becomes unsynced. Like the audio and video becomes unsynced, and that's a little bit annoying. But most of this stuff here is both self-explanatory in general. Now, one thing though with this CPU thing here, we've got it very fast because this computer has a really fast processor, and we've got a lot of RAM and all that, so it can support this and follow along really well. We don't, if you're not sure, if you don't have a lot of RAM, or if it's not the best, if it's an older computer, doesn't have the best CPU, then don't really go up higher than fast. Like that way it allows it to process better. Okay, so now we've got here settings for like noise gate and that sort of thing. Noise gate helps, like if there's background noise that you want to get rid of through your mic, you can set it this, but you should really play around with this, because if you have it set too high, you can end up clipping out some of the stuff you're saying. If you happen to just start talking a little quieter, all of a sudden like, it might drop below the threshold. So you'll have to work with that with your own, I guess, speaking techniques and microphone placement and that to see what works best for that all working. Backtracking for a moment here, going back to encoding, we use a max bit rate of 1000. If we were streaming, we'd probably go with 3000 as a max bit rate and 2000 roughly as a buffer size. We do the 1000 just because the videos we do for this or for Minecraft don't exactly need high resolution or any of that stuff. So we go with something a bit simpler, so it's not going to be taking up a lot of memory on the computer. Okay, on the left there you can name your scenes just so that you know where you're going to have your sources from for each of the different scenes. On the right you have your sources. So for scene 2 we just had monitor capture, which is what we've been doing. So when I clicked it off it went blank, and I click it back on and we got that. So if we want to add other sources, we click on here. So we're, like I said, that was the monitor capture, so we're going to show Windows capture. So we click on that. It gives us the option to name it. We name it. You can see there's a drop box at the top there by window, so you can pick which window you want to do. Now inner box and outer box, those are whether you're going to have it inside of the area that has like the X and the title, or if you want it including that. So the outer box would include it. Not sure why you would do that, especially if you're doing gameplay, I guess, unless you wanted to have it nicely titled by the way it would have been done originally. Okay, so after that we're going to check out image. That would be if you wanted, if you were going to leave, I guess, if you're doing live streaming, you want to pop something up there, I'll be right back, and show a happy little cat or something. I don't know, whatever you want. You have that option. You can also use it as an overlay. We'll talk about that in a moment when it comes to positioning. Okay, so you can also do a slideshow. If you click on that, you can set up whatever folder you're having your pictures coming up to make the slide. You can have a text pop up as either an overlay or just a cross. So now this is for video capture device. Since we've switched over to Windows 8, like we said, it's not recognizing it. It's having a problem, and we just haven't gotten a new video capture device yet, but we will. But this is where you would click it on, and you can name it, just in case you had more than one video capture device. If you had multiple cameras, get different shots, reactions. I don't know. It's an option. Most gamers seem to only have one, though. The most important one, I would think, is game capture. Now, this will just capture the app itself, like, or the game, or whatever. So you click on that. Okay, we're I guess I got to load up Minecraft here first. We get a little bit of a blank screen while it's loading up. Sorry about that. And that was just because I had the nothing was running. Hit play, and in a moment here, you'll see what'll pop up. And what it's going to look like. Okay, so this is what it looks like as it's recorded. You'll see the black on the top and the bottom. You can hit it. There's a stretch function, stretch video to fit screen function. Ryan hasn't done that. I don't want to mess with his settings. I'm not sure if he uses that to put some scroll bys or whatever, so I'm just going to leave that for now. Okay, so now we've got both the game capture as well as the monitor capture. And just, you can reposition them as you see me pull out the monitor capture. You see the little red lines that are around it? I'm repositioning that within the program itself, but of course what I've recorded ends up being all of this. Now as you can see, the Minecraft is in the background and you have the window or the monitor capture in the top. That's probably where you would probably have something like your video capture if you wanted. But if you put them in the wrong way, you had, like you wanted to flip them over, you just go to order and you move them up or down, and now you've got the Minecraft one laying over top of the monitor capture. So you can resize easily with this. I'm just kind of, just by clicking on that red there and bringing them around. There's also some presets there when you right click on a monitor, like to say whether you want it in the left or right, if you want it to automatically position in those things. But I kind of like fiddling around with it myself and putting it where I want it to go. Okay, so I'm just putting everything back to the way Ryan had it, just to make sure. I guess I stretched it along. We'd have to fix that later, but oh well. Anyway, so that's the basics on it. If you have any questions, please leave the questions down below. We'd like to help people with what they're doing with any of our videos. Oh, okay, good. Got it set. So just leave any comments or questions down below and we'll try to get back at you. We know what it's like being new to YouTube or new to using some of these things, and we always appreciate any help anybody's given us when we've been looking for it. Thank you for watching our video. We hope it helped. Feel free to like, share, or favorite it. We love it if people subscribe to us, of course, just like any other YouTuber. And we've got some other channels there that you can feel free on checking out if you want. But if you don't, that's fine too. As long as you're having a good day, we're happy.